Well, hockey fans, Canadians, this is the part you've all been waiting for. Me breaking down some NHL playoff hockey. Last night's victory by the Senators over the Bruins 4-2 ensured the playoffs would go as scheduled, and these would be the playoff matchups. In the East, to begin with, number 1, Pittsburgh. Number 8, New York Islanders. Number 2, Montreal. Number 7, Ottawa. Number 3, Washington. Number 6, New York Rangers. Number 4, Boston. Number 5, Toronto. And that is how it will go. To start off, you know where I got to start off. My team, the Pens. Well, let's get started. The Penguins are hosting the New York Islanders. Do I really need to say anything? Do I really need to say anything? I know I'm probably jinxing myself, but the Penguins are absolutely going to blow the doors off the Islanders. They might lose a game, but they're going to crush them. If you look at the regular season meetings, between the teams, I mean, it was just incredibly one-sided. I know New York won one of those games, but they had a 6-1 blowout. The Penguins did a 4-2 win, a 2-0 win. They destroyed the Islanders. It's going to happen again. 5 games the Penguins win. Crosby coming back. The top 9 is going to be made up of Crosby, Malkin, Neal, Kunitz, Dupuis, Iginla, Sutter, Morrow, and Cook. 3 of them are top 15 goal scorers in the NHL this season. And neither Crosby nor Malkin are among those 3, and that's a scary thing. There's a good chance the 4th line could feature Jussi Jokinen, who we traded practically a bag of mulch for to Carolina, and he's been nothing but awesome since we got him. Then Bo Bennett and Tyler Kennedy. That's not just deep. That's incredibly deep. When it comes to defense, the Penguins don't have the best defense in the league. They don't. But think of it this way. Their defense has not been as great because guys like Letang and Martin were all gone. You know? We have a lot of good players in this team, but they've got to come together and play better. I think we've got a really good edge in terms of that category because I know the Islanders have a really good offense, but the Penguins' defense, how many games in that winning streak did we go without allowing a goal, more than one goal? Exactly. I give an edge to goaltending to Fleury because he won a Stanley Cup, and I know Evgeny Nabokov has been a good goalie, but think of it this way. I know Sid and Gino have not scored on him, but I think he's kind of forgotten about the rest of the team. He's going to get lit up like a Christmas tree. Give me Pens in 5. The next series I think is going to be kind of interesting. Montreal versus Ottawa. Now, Montreal kind of faded down the stretch, but I think they get a win in this series. If you look at their offense versus the Senators' defense, it's pretty much even. I mean, Canadians were 4th in the league with 3 goals a game, but they have struggled in the final weeks to really do any scoring, and the Senators have relied on their defense. So because of the injuries to the other side, to any of their goal scorers. So really, they've had to win on their defense, and the fact is, they're going to be fighting their asses off along Montreal. That's going to be a pretty even matchup. The goaltending, though, is the biggest edge for Ottawa. Because Carey Price, in April, his save percentage was .876. Not very good. Craig Anderson recorded a percentage this year of .941 and 1.69 goals against in 24 starts. And then his backup, Robin Leonard, .936 save percentage. They just lock teams down. You know? The Canadians, I think, have a better defense in general. You know, I know Ottawa does have Carlson back, but still, it can be tough to penetrate that Senators defense. Special teams, I think, is about even because Canadians have a good power play, and the Senators have a very, very good penalty kill. But in general, I like the Canadians to win the series, and I take them in 6 games. I think 6 is good. I think they take this series and advance to the second round. Coming up next is a rematch of last year's series, and for the 4th time in 5 years, the Capitals and the Rangers will play against each other. This is going to be a different series than last year. The Rangers are not as good, and the Capitals are firing on all cylinders right now. They are scoring like crazy. They really are. But if you look at the way they score, the Washington offense and the Rangers defense, Ovechkin had 23 goals in his final 23 games with the Capitals and has played incredibly well in the right wing as opposed to being normally a left winger. The Rangers, again, a great defense. 2.25 goals per game allowed. Very, very stout defensively. And I have to go ahead and say that they've once again, because of the goaltending of Henrik Lundqvist, really, really been a factor as to why they've gotten this far. Now, Caps goalie Braden Holtby has been pretty good, but he's got a tendency to allow several goals at a time. He has a tendency. The fact that the Capitals are scoring a lot of goals per game has not really hurt him, but if they play a team later on in the playoffs that really kind of shuts them down and then forces him to win games, that could be a losing proposition for the Capitals. A team like the Rangers is just a team to do it. But the Capitals on the power play is really their best job. 26.8% they score. Ovechkin scored 16 of his 32 goals this year on the power play. Even though their penalty kill is 4th worst in the league, it's 77.9%. But I think in general the Capitals do just enough in this series to advance to the next round. I know New York has played well lately. I know that. I know that some of their guys have come a long way and been playing well, and they've been scoring goals, which is scary. But I think Henrik Lundqvist, as good of a goalie as he is, they're going to need a lot more than him if they want to beat the Capitals. And I don't think they have it right now. All right, finally, next series. The final series of the Eastern Conference, an original 6 matchup between the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are finally back in the playoffs after 7 years, and the Boston Bruins, the 2010-11 Stanley Cup champions. The Bruins are pretty much a better team in every asset of the game. Better goaltending, their offense is better than Toronto's defense, and their defense is better than Toronto's offense. However, I do think it's going to be a close series because Boston's kind of struggled down the stretch. I think Boston adding Jaromir Jagr will have a little bit of a boost to the power play because, they've gotten him back. They've gotten him, at the end of the season. But it really has not paid dividends for this team. They're both very good at goaltending, but, and they're both very good on special teams with their penalty kills. However, in terms of power play, both teams have been very, very subpar this year. So it's going to be more or less a defensive battle. But I will give the edge to Boston this series. I like them to win this series in 6 games. I think they're a better team. They got more experience in the playoffs. And having veterans in that team like Lucic and Seguin and Zdeno Chara really, really does help a lot. So the way the Eastern Conference playoffs I have them playing out, I have Pittsburgh beating the Islanders 4-1. I have the Bruins beating the Maple Leafs 4-2. The Capitals beating the Rangers 4-3, 7 games. I think it'll be a very close series, but I think the Caps have just enough to get past them. And I like the Senators to fall to the Canadiens 4-2. That means in this next round of the playoffs, the Penguins will play the Bruins and the Canadiens will play the Capitals. All right, I will be back and I will do my Western Conference preview in just a moment.